Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly excited to have you here because we are diving into something that is literally rewriting the rules of how physical products are made. For centuries, manufacturing was totally bottlenecked by what human hands could sketch out and what our brains could calculate. But right now, artificial intelligence is stepping right off the screen and straight onto the factory floor. So we're going to explore generative hardware design, how it's cracking open these absolutely massive B2B startup opportunities, and why the next big physical product might actually start with an algorithm instead of a blueprint. Okay, let's jump right in. Now, a quick but very professional and important note before we get deep into the mechanics and the highly lucrative business models we'll be talking about. We are going to be exploring some specific startup models and massive new business opportunities in the B2B manufacturing space today. Please keep in mind that this explainer is strictly for educational and knowledge purposes only. It's definitely not financial or investment advice. For anyone who is going to use this information, please make sure to check the details and conduct your own rigorous research before investing any time or capital into the startups or technologies we cover. All right, so here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, the engineering bottleneck. Then, number 2, AI hardware generation. Number 3, real-world applications. Number 4, the B2B startup ecosystem. And finally, number 5, challenges and future outlook.
Okay, starting off with section 1, the engineering bottleneck.
To really grasp why this AI shift is such a big deal, we have to look at the traditional way we design things. For decades, traditional CAD, computer-aided design, has basically meant engineers sitting in front of screens painstakingly drawing every single curve, every bracket, every tiny hole by hand. Right? They test it, find a weak spot, redraw the whole thing, and test it again. It takes weeks, and honestly, a human team is only going to explore maybe a couple dozen variations before they just run out of time or money. But generative AI flips the script entirely. Instead of drawing, an engineer just feeds in the goals, like, say, maximum load capacity, and boom, within minutes, the algorithm calculates and explores literally millions of fully optimized options. And that brings us to a pretty harsh reality. Exploring every possibility manually is, well, simply impossible. The industries we work in today demand products that are lighter, stronger, and cheaper, all at the same time. Whether we're talking about an EV needing better battery range or a jet trying to cut weight to save fuel, the geometric complexity required to hit those goals is just way beyond manual human calculation. Depending only on human trial and error, it's just not viable anymore.
Which brings us nicely to section 2, AI hardware generation.
So how does it actually work? Well, the secret sauce here is something called topology optimization. Think of it kind of like a digital sculptor. Instead of starting with a blank screen and adding pieces one by one, the AI starts with a solid virtual block of material. And then it just relentlessly asks one single question over and over again. Can I remove this tiny piece of material without making the whole thing break? If the answer is yes, it chips it away. It just keeps carving until only the absolute essential structure is left to hold the weight. And what's really wild is what these designs end up looking like. When you let pure physics and algorithms dictate the shape, you don't get straight lines and perfect 90-degree angles. You get nature. These AI outputs look eerily like tree branches or bird bones, coral reefs, even honeycombs. And it makes total sense, right? Nature has spent billions of years optimizing for perfect efficiency, using those exact same laws of physics. The AI isn't trying to copy a bird bone, it's just arriving at the exact same mathematical conclusion. Now, a massive misconception floating around is that AI is just going to replace the engineer altogether. Actually, scratch that. It absolutely does not. This is a partnership. Step 1, the human engineer, clearly defines the goals, the physical constraints, and the materials. Then, step 2, the AI generates thousands of crazy possibilities. Step 3, the human engineer steps right back in to validate, run simulations, and pick the most practical option. And finally, step 4, we send it off to advanced manufacturing, like 3D printing. This isn't replacing human capability, it's supercharging it. And the results? They are genuinely staggering. 40%. That's the number to remember. These organic-looking algorithms can reduce a single component's material usage by up to 40% without losing a single ounce of structural strength. Just imagine the cost savings and the environmental impact if you could cut 40% of the raw metal out of a massive industrial manufacturing run. It's an absolute game changer. All right, let's keep moving to section 3, real-world applications. So where is this actually happening? Well, it's being adopted right now in industries where every single gram matters. In aerospace, shaving just a few kilograms off internal brackets saves an incredible amount of jet fuel over a plane's lifespan.
In automotive, pulling weight out of an EV chassis directly extends your driving range. Over in healthcare, they're using AI to design personalized orthopedic implants with porous, bone-like structures so real human tissue can actually grow into them. And in robotics, lighter moving arms mean vastly faster, more precise, and way more energy-efficient automation. This tech is already out there in the wild. All of this is creating a massive ripple effect for founders, which leads us to Section 4, the B2B startup ecosystem.
The beauty here is that you don't need to own a billion-dollar factory to get in on this. We're seeing entirely new, highly lucrative startup models popping up. You've got AI product design studios working like agencies, helping smaller manufacturers optimize the parts they already make to save cash. Then there's optimization as a service, a pure SaaS play where companies pay a monthly sub to have AI constantly evaluate and refine their legacy designs. And AI rapid prototyping? Startups are combining generative design with 3D printing to shrink a client's R&D cycle from months down to mere days. And honestly, the ecosystem is just getting started. The market is going to desperately need industry-specific platforms. Think AI tools trained exclusively on, say, farm equipment or medical devices. We're going to need AI manufacturing consultancies to literally hold the hands of traditional manufacturers and show them how to adopt these crazy new workflows. And we'll definitely see custom product design at scale, making it actually cost-effective to generate highly personalized physical products without bankrupting yourself on engineering hours. So the huge takeaway for any of us looking at the business side of this, the true opportunity isn't necessarily in manufacturing the products yourself. The real scale, the real wealth generation, is in building the software, the platforms, and the service layers that enable thousands of existing legacy companies to innovate. Essentially, you're selling the pickaxes during the gold rush.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, challenges and future outlook. Because as enthusiastic as I am about this, we have to stay grounded. There is real friction here. For example, here's a massive, completely unresolved legal question for you. Can a company actually patent a physical structure if an algorithm proposed it? Think about it. If two competing companies feed the exact same load requirements into an AI, and the AI spits out the exact same bone-like bracket for both of them, who actually owns that IP? Founders and investors are going to have to navigate those murky legal waters very, very carefully.
Plus, there are highly practical bottlenecks we just can't ignore. First off, an AI's output isn't a finished product. It demands rigorous, real-world physical testing by humans. Secondly, those beautiful organic tree branch shapes, they are incredibly difficult and expensive to manufacture, usually requiring high-end 3D metal printing instead of cheap traditional casting. Third, heavy regulatory red tape in fields like aerospace and healthcare doesn't care what the algorithm thinks. They require strict human accountability. And lastly, running millions of complex simulations means racking up some absolutely massive cloud computing bills. So, what does it all mean? Ultimately, generative hardware design is not the end of engineering, not by a long shot. It's the beginning of a brand new partnership between human creativity and machine intelligence. Human context, commercial judgment, ethical decision-making, those remain our ultimate competitive advantages. The AI, it's simply the most powerful tool we have ever handed to a creative human mind. Which leaves us with one final provocative thought to chew on. As this technology continues to get cheaper, faster, and way more accessible, what will your business design when the limits of human imagination are completely removed? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building, and I will see you next time.